Hello folks. Sorry it's been a little bit of a lull other than the test game I did earlier. Got a new computer set up, so I'm going to go ahead and do a ladder game for you guys. I wanted to show off a little. I've got Slush in control. Let's see, I know there's more. Come on. Tyler. And I want to say Drooby? Yeah, Drooby. Yeah, all in my division, so that's pretty cool. So I've got a little competition. Still floating 250 bonus pool because I suck at laddering. Well, I suck at actually playing laddering. Right now I think I'm 8-3. Yeah, 8-3. So I'm doing really, really well since I went to Masters. So that's nice. But it would help if I played. So I guess that's what this is for. So let's go ahead and roll. If you guys hear any background noise, it's because I'm actually over at my buddy's place. His buddy has a garage that he's rigged up as a LAN center, so we've got like, I guess 15, 20 computers here total, or a room for 15 to 20 computers. Right now I guess there's about 10. So if you hear background noise, that's because he's here. He just sat there going, "You're doing really good," because he's a nerd. Say hi, Eric.
What's going on?
Say hi. No, say hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
There you go. That's the way it's supposed to go. You've never heard that before? See, that's why he's not casting, because he would say dumb stuff like that. Woohoo! Here we go! I'm on a new keyboard, and for some reason it's throwing me off. So I've got my excuse lined up. So, yeah, you guys are ready for me to lose because of my keyboard. That's why.
We require more minerals.
And Axidus is my opponent. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Actually, I'm going to go and turn off frames. Don't need it much anymore.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and do 11 over pool. I've been really liking this build lately. It's pretty much immune to Marina CV all-in. And it doesn't sacrifice a lot of economy as long as you follow it up with an 18 hatchery, so that's pretty cool. People are usually good if they're in a clan. So yeah, I'll hopefully pull off... Oh, I'm actually trying to spawn drones because I'm distracted. That would have been bad. 11 over pool is hard to do without the pool.
We require more minerals.
So apparently he's a rising player. Said he's just finally starting to match against players who are in teams, so we'll see how that pans out. Okay, good. I was getting a little scared there. I do not like seeing forward racks on this map, and I definitely don't like seeing proxy racks. So far nothing too scary. I'm going to go ahead and do it like I planned it. And I like to do this a little goofy. I like to go ahead and do a second extractor trick when my pool finishes, and you'll see how the timing works out. Start my queen, start a zergling, a cancel, and now I'm going to go over and prepare to drop my hatchery, except for I'm not going to prepare yet because I don't want to sell... Okay, there we go. I'm going to sneak past here. Oh, he saw me. I was hoping he was going to do a loop around. Oh, well. Oh, he's going to let me go ahead and take it. Oh, and I need to turn on grid on this computer. That would be good. By that I mean the grid for construction. And immediately, now that that's all said and done, I should have... I actually probably should have just let the extractor finish. I'm still working out the kinks in this build, so apologies if it doesn't look flawless. But that's why you play ladder, to experiment. So you don't have to experiment in your tournament games. Which I did in the TL Open. That was kind of bad. I actually did pretty well in the TL Open. I got to round 5. And then I actually experimented with this exact same build in ZDZ, and I shouldn't have been. I botched it up pretty bad. Turns out it's not the greatest in ZVZ. The versatility that it has in other matchups is not quite there. Why didn't I click on that at first? It's hard to talk and hard to play at the same time, but that's okay. And I'm not sure what's going on here, but I always like to get an extra hatchery by this point, so I am a whore about the in-base hatcheries. And with the factory going up, I kind of predict some sort of maybe Banshee opener. You know, it's going to open Hellions into Banshees, something to that degree. But we will wait and see. My circumstance right now is not good. I lost both of my Scout Zerglings, and so he could be pushing right now with a Marine SCV, and I would have no idea. Oh, that's bad too. So, don't emulate that. Oh, and look at that. Looks like just enough Marines to give me some trouble, though, so should be okay. He's just trying to pressure me into making more Zerglings, and I'm probably going to make more Zerglings anyways. Ooh, this is a little more trouble. Alright, there we go. Cleaned it up pretty reasonably. By the way, if anyone knows how to turn off these dumb notices up here, without turning off the voice notice that it gives you, I would love to hear it, because that is irritating as hell. Oh, and look at that positioning. I love that positioning. Anyways, I accidentally click it, like, click that. Oh, now I'm not looking at my Overlord. That is terrible. So if anyone has any tips, let me know, because I turned it off and it turned off voice notifications, and I don't want that. Sorry about the stutters. Okay, so he's going to do a Hellion drop. And the stuttering that you're seeing, that's because this internet here sucks, so I apologize for that. On that note, if anyone's downloading, please turn it off for just like the next 15 minutes. But yeah, we've got all these computers running, but he's out in the middle of nowhere, so his internet is really bad. It's cable, but it's very slow cable. So now it's just going to be a case of spot the drop. And I really should have these Xel'Nagas populated, the front of his base populated, some drones.
We require more minerals.
At this point I like to go ahead and start my +1. And a Baneling next. Okay, so he's getting a forward positioning with a bunker, and holy god, this frickin' lag. Sorry, I almost sweared. Okay, well I'm gonna... usually I would stop the cast if it's lagging too much, but I can't exactly do that this time. Oh, and look at that. So he's probably not going to execute this drop anymore now that I know about it. But if he does, then power to him. No complaints here. And I'm actually going to probably get to his rocks here in a second. Once my +1 starts, which will be in uno momento. Oh, I love seeing this. I love seeing this. And he's going to be forced to just move along. So this is great. A little more lag, because lag is always good. And floating 1100 is also very good. Do that as often as possible. The more minerals you float, actually the better chance you have of winning the game by default. It's hard-coded into the game, so that's very good. Keep that in mind. And given the map, I pretty much have to get some Muta going on. I'd like to go Infestor, but honestly, I just don't really... I don't really like skipping Muta on Xel'Naga in any circumstance on Scrap. Okay, so here's a push coming. And I'm actually liking this quite a bit. I can pull a pretty nasty flank when they do this push. So let's see if I can do that. I like to have my Zerglings out back, and they're going to be kept here in a flanking position. And... come on. You know you want to push. Oh my god, this flag. I don't know if this is going to work on this internet. Yeah, if you could, dude, thanks. Sorry about this, guys. One of these days I'll work out every single kink in my cast, and then I can actually do something quality for once. That would be nice. So he was faking that, trying to force some units. So we'll see what the follow-up is. What's his composition looking like? Okay, looks like he's very anti-ground heavy, which is excellent for me.
We require more Vespine gas.
Yeah, dude, I know, it shows up well on speed test, but you've seen it before. It hitches every minute or so.
Metamorphosis complete.
Oh, and I'm not watching because I'm busy looking at his speed test. That's spectacular. Fuck that. Sorry. So, who knows? I might have to move this computer over there. I was hoping not to, but... And I'm not going to be casting too much at this point. I'm just going to try and win this game with the disadvantage I'm playing with. So, apologies. So at this point, given what I'm seeing, it looks like a very light biomech, mostly mech, so I'm probably just going to do some baneling, speedling, and be just fine. I don't really predict there's going to be too much trouble from siege tanks. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, I like this, though. I maybe even should have let it go ahead and fly a little further so I could get the kill, but that's okay. Oh, come on! You really need to lag right when I'm about to focus fire? Alright, so I'm going to prepare these last speedlings, and actually I'm going to get some roach going as well, just in case. And okay, I think I lost. Alright. People who are watching for the first time are probably like, what the hell, he's not even talking! What a noob! Alright, there he goes. And actually I should have these already morphed, but that's okay. It doesn't look like he's ready to push yet, so that's very good for me. Wow. You know, this may be something with fraps, but it didn't do it during the last recording I did, so I'm not sure. Okay, you know, I think I'm going to break the rocks and go ahead and... Yep, okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and break the rocks and hit him in the mid. Seems good. These are all going down, so that's nice for me.
We require more Vespine gas.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull in the mutas just to get a quick look, make sure he is indeed out of position, which he is. And at this point I can just stream in the Zerglings, and once he relocates his tanks, go ahead and clear him out with the banelings. Trying to get this wall down ASAP so that he can't pull off any positional advantage. Oh, he wants to base trade. Okay then. Well, if I can stop lagging, I will go ahead and meet that base trade. But so what's going to happen here is I'm already in his main, and I think I can go ahead and break what he's got here with just my Baneling and my Mutas. So Indeed I can. Gonna go ahead and magic box this Thor, and that's gonna be GG. Meanwhile, he is losing his production facilities, and that's gonna do it. Yep. Alright, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm wondering if maybe it's fraps, because I played 7 or 8 trial games just to get myself warmed up without fraps, and nothing was going on. So, sorry this wasn't the best quality. I'll probably upload it anyways. Hopefully people can take something from it. And I suppose I'll go ahead and watch the replay real quick and review some of the things I did and the many, many mistakes I made, just so that there's some substance. Alright. So really I was actually a bit surprised. That was a bit more casual than some of my other Master games. I really expected there to be a lot more to that push when he decided to base trade me, and that's why when I noticed that, I'm like, well, okay, let the Lynx stay back and finish him off, because I really don't see a reason why I can't just magic box the one Thor. So, kind of interesting. I'll have to look and see what his rank is after this. I might as well take a look at his play now that we've got vision. So really, I mean, if this were a different map, I would have had a drone in here looking at this and noticed the 2 gas. That would have made it a bit more transparent. But given the metagame Scrap Station has, what he did was nothing surprising. I just handled it wrong. And I like to always look at income tab. It kind of tells a lot about how a Zerg is doing, especially with handling this sort of pressure. So you can see here I'm down 18 to 25, and he's taking his natural very aggressively. So really at this point is the time when you can look at it and say, okay, why didn't that Terran fare better than he did? Because he took his natural very well. He really gave me no opportunity to punish it. So his opening was very strong. But for whatever reason, his follow-up wasn't quite there. And you know, I should be watching frames for this. Let's see if maybe there is some frame hitching going on, but I didn't see it before. So we will see. Whenever you get an opportunity to do this, this is an excellent thing. Just, you don't necessarily have to kill the medevac. I mean, that's optimal, but just keep Zerglings under the medevac. That's all it takes. And then, you know, if they do drop a Marine or two, they're going to be immediately surrounded, so there's not much motivation there. And so, really, look at this. This is a huge overreaction on my part. I was hoping I'd be able to do something to actually punish his push, and since there was no push, I'm down 10 drones, and he's matched me on base count. So, this is actually really surprising that he was able, or that I was able to take this win. You know, and I did catch up with a big burst of drones there, but still, I should be up 10 drones, not down 10 drones at any point by 12 minutes into the game. If you're doing your job as a Zerg player, that just shouldn't happen. And he actually, this should be a orbital right now. I think this was the one he tried to float up. Oh, okay. No, he's starting to float it up now. Wow. Okay, well, I think there's some processor settings I can do to fix this, because this is now looking very much like fraps, even on this computer for whatever reason. So, that's interesting. And I never did saturate this, which was obviously a big mistake, but at the same time, it worked out pretty well in my favor, since he did base trade, so didn't lose any drones. But the interesting thing about his composition is he opened what looked like biomech. This almost looks like a very, very good TVT. You know, it looks like he's played a little too much TVT lately, kind of a thing, you know? So that was really surprising, because, I mean, he's very Marine and Marauder heavy, and just enough tanks to get the positional advantage. And then Vikings, which really didn't do him any good whatsoever, because they're not so hot against mutas. I guess they did prevent me from magic boxing, but the Marines do that well enough. So, very surprising composition on his part. But I guess if you want to take one thing away from this that I absolutely did poorly, it's the spending. Look at that float, 2,000 minerals, and that's on 4 hatcheries. That shouldn't ever happen. And I'm really fortunate he wasn't able to punish it. So make sure you're mindful of your spending. Make sure you're never doing something like this. As a general rule of thumb, if you're over minerals by 1,000, then you need to be putting down one more hatchery to compensate for that. So in this case, I'm over by 2,000, and really I could have put down 2 hatcheries to compensate for that if I wanted. And that may seem a little funny, but it's better than having the resources just sitting there all game. I basically played this entire game deficient, 2,000 resources worth of units, so kind of odd that I was able to pull it off. And one thing, I talk about Magic Box, and a lot of people probably don't know what it is, so I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward just a bit until we get to that. Wow, that was too far forward. Okay. So what Magic Box is you get your mutas into a position where they naturally spread out, and they no longer take Thor splash damage. Then you just maintain that position, and as you see here, that muta is the only one taking splash damage. Then you just hold position over the Thor, and that's all it takes. So keep that in mind whenever you're going against a composition like this, where really there should have been more Thors involved. Because one Thor is, as you saw, I lost what? 2 mutas against 1 Thor and 3 Vikings. So practice that in a unit tester as much as possible. You can do it with as many as 40 mutas if you feel like it, 50 mutas. The only thing to keep in mind is the more mutas you have, the harder it is to maintain that spread. You have to click further away from your mutas to maintain that. So keep that in mind. It's just the way the unit AI works. The smaller groups, you can click, for example, I could click right here, and it would bunch them together. But then as this group gets bigger, I have to click out here, and then eventually out here, and then eventually out here, to keep them from bunching together. Kind of odd, but it's just Blizzard's way of allowing you to both ball your units up or maintain your spread, depending on what you're choosing to do. So that's about it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll get the kinks worked out sooner or later. Alright, thanks. Bye.